Have you ever just wanted to create a new change in your life, something you've been thinking about, and finally you are going to take those steps towards making that change or creating that change? But what if I told you that most of the ways that people do create change is not the right way? Not saying it's right or wrong, but most of the time, and through experience myself and being a coach in this field, I know that people quit within 4 weeks. Think about New Year's resolutions. How many of you have tried to change? Whether you're going to go on a diet, start working out, hit up a CrossFit gym, whatever it's going to be. And within 4 weeks, even less, you have a higher percentage chance of not following through. Now, if that sounds like you, I want you to watch this video because in today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 ways that you can create change, but through small, little habits. Studies have shown that starting with smaller, realistic habits in your life is going to make a bigger difference. And I know you may think that's stupid. How's that going to happen? Trust me, there's a lot of books out there that already prove that these habits will help create the long-term change that you are looking for. This one technique or this one mindset will definitely help us in our mental health journey. And in today's podcast, we're going to cover that. Episode number 158. Join me. Check it out. Here we go. Let's go. Let's swipe. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Mental Mobility Podcast. This is Coach Pete. Thank you guys again for coming out to episode number 158. We're going to talk about those 5 little habit changes or habit creations that you can take home and start doing pretty much today. But let's figure out what they are, but at the same time, how to implement it, right? Especially how to implement. It's easy to think about how we can do it, right? In the long term and how the dream is, right? That end goal. But what's the process to get there? How do you get there so it is long term, so it does stick around, so you do have a better mental health outlook in life? But first, we're going to get to our memes of the week, and we're going to start with one that says how depression manifests in your body. Now, this is something that I never thought about because I lived with tons of pain, right? Pain, joint pain, headaches, neck pain, knee pain, and I always thought it had to do with working out, and I'm sure it had much to do with working out. But do you ever have the day where you just wake up and it's like, why does this hurt? Why does my neck hurt? Why do I have this nagging pain? What if I told you it was caused by your depression? What if it's caused by COVID? It's debilitating. So it says here, debilitating. I can't say that word. What's debilitating mean? Debilitating. Am I saying that right? Debilitating fatigue that prevents you from doing even the smallest things. Reduced focus, inability to concentrate and remember things. Brain fog, inexplicable back and joint pains, aching muscles and soreness, crushing headaches and migraines that happen out of nowhere, and dizziness, irregular sleep schedules, sleeping way more or lesser, changes to appetite, weight loss and gain, reduced sex drive or your libido, eyes or vision problems that make everything look blurry, obscured, or visual snow, stomach and chest pains, problems with digestion, gut inflammation. So a lot of times it can be just your depression triggering and giving you all of these symptoms physically. So the main thing is, right, the main takeaway I got from that one is if we have depression, we're going to suffer, right? Not only we're going to suffer mentally, but we're going to start suffering physically because we don't move, we're not eating, we're not sleeping, and all that stuff accumulates to deteriorating your body. And I don't want you to feel like that because I know what it feels like to feel like that. And I'm sure if you're watching this or maybe started watching this channel, you will understand that it does happen. And a lot of times we'll just have a stomach ache, take some medicine, have a headache, take some medicine. Are we going to take medicine for the rest of our lives? I'm not one to say not take medicine because I do take lithium, right? I do take lithium. I do take allergy medication. I do believe in medication. I'm not one that is against it. But I think for small things that we can take charge of, headaches, joint pain, stomach aches, gut health, well, there's something we could do. And the first thing we could do is ease that depression, is find out what the main cause of it. And I'll guarantee you that you're going to start feeling better. And I want you to hang out because in today's podcast, we do talk about those little changes that you can make to help ease and or hopefully get rid of depression. Number 2, it is still May, so it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm really glad that there are some reminders still going out there for it. If not, you didn't know, May is Mental Health Month, and it's green, right? Green ribbons, that's the color. So, something that you haven't seen, mental health is not always visible, right? That's what it says. It can be someone who always seems happy, seems to have the perfect life, is always there for others, looks like they have it all together, is always smiling, and is outgoing and social, right? Mental health, it's hard to say because people could put on that mask. And if you watch last week's episode or last week's podcast with Steph Louie, that was a perfect example of this meme. She is a beautiful girl that just smiles through everything. And I told the story in the beginning of that podcast. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. Maybe I'll put a card up here. I've never known that she was struggling. I would have never known that she was having a hard time. I would have never known that she was suffering. And at the same time, she didn't either. She just thought the pain and the mentality was just a part of life. And these are the change that she has to go through. But in the flip side, diagnosed with BPD, and also now working her way on her mental health journey to become a better person. But I always say we can never judge a book by its cover and perceive someone to be labeled as good, right? Or got it together. Because I did my best to try to show people that I got it together. I'm okay. I could handle this. But there's no way I could have. I was just a building burning from the top, slowly going down, down, down until it finally hit the base, and then there was no building left. So I want you to know, if you see someone in your life, even if they're nice, maybe be nice back. Because we never know what other people are going through. And most of the time, the way we treat others is going to be a reflection how they're going to treat us back. So I'm not saying that you have to, because some people are still pricks, right? So some people are just assholes, and we don't have to do that. If they don't treat you nice, then whatever. Be nice or just ignore. Kind of move along. But at the same time, we can never just look at someone and be like, oh man, that person got it together. They got that perfect life. We never know what's going on inside their minds. So just be kind. That's all I can say about that one. Where are we at for the third one in there? I think I do, but I think. Oh, but this is a video. So this is a video. It's kind of. Let me see if I can pause it. Pause it. No, how do you pause these things? All right. Well, it's a video of someone underlining it the entire time. It says 12 things you need to understand. Keep your mouth shut when you're winning. Don't tell people your plans. Wait for the results to speak for themselves. Never expect to get what you give. Not everyone has a heart of flesh. Every day you wake up, you have a new job to get. Every day you have a new job to be better than yesterday. And there's a couple more things inside there. We're not going to go through all of them because it is a long video that kind of just keeps underlining. It's kind of a way to keep your attention. That's why I took it down. But the main one I liked here was never expect to get what you give. That's kind of what I had a faulty of, especially back in the day, was I would give, and I naturally still do, right? And at the same time, man, why are they still like that? I gave him this, I gave him that, I gave him this. Why do they still just? Because some people are just vampires. Some people are just takers. And we can't expect everyone to be like us. You can't expect everyone to be a giver. I'm not saying a giver is bad or good. I'm not saying that you should not give. I'm saying, yeah, give as much as you want. Give as much as your heart desires, because it does create an energy. It does create a positivity in your life. But don't expect anything back. So for me, I'll help people as much as I can. Whatever I always say, whatever I can, if I can, I will. That's my new one, right? And that's kind of the thing I've been doing with donations and helping some of these kids out that I've met out here, just because I respect what they do. Right, these dancers. So here's a perfect example. There's these dancers out here, and they're not dancers. They're actually professional dancers in college, and they teach classes, and they do donations, and they raise money for their program. And I will, when they teach a class, donate. I'm not going to go to a class, right? I'm not going to a class because I wish I could go to a class, but I'm gonna get shown up first off. At the same time, I got to work and I got kids, so at the times that it's that, I'm not going. Right. So what I want to do is also support. I will support them by donating. But I don't expect anything back from that. I don't expect any repercussions from that. I'm just doing to help someone out. And that's just one of the examples that I do. So if you're also help someone, right? Say you are someone that is very helpful and, an ear and someone that listens to someone and being that good person, don't expect them to be the same. It'd be nice if they were, but at the same time, it's going to mentally beat you up by you wanting some repercussion out of your gratitude, I guess you can say. So that's kind of what I got out of that one, especially that one quote. But let's move on to our 5 ways that we can develop habits. And I'm talking as I'm trying to open up the screen here because all the notes are on this sheet right here. So we're talking about habits and how it's very difficult to and frustrating, right? To not see the end result so fast. And I always see it with dieting, and I can say I do this myself, right? Also with workout plans. When I start a new program, I want to see the end goal as fast as I can. And that's not realistic, right? There has to be a checklist involved. It's almost like a game, right? We can't go to level 1 without going to level 1-4 all the way to 12-1 in Mario. I don't even know if there's 12-1. I kind of forget if it's 10 or 12. But we can't go to level 1 to level 10. We have to hit level 1.1, level 1.2, level 1.3, 4. Okay, second level, the underwater level. Underwater level. So it's different boards or different worlds that we have to achieve in order to hit that end result. So let's take a perfect example. I know we're going to talk about mental health, but mental health and physical health kind of coexist with each other. If I want to start working out, my perfect example is sure, if you started going and have a goal of going every single day, that's perfect. But the higher chance of you failing is high, a higher chance. The chance of you failing is very high. And we talked about this in the intro. New Year's resolution is the perfect example. The perfect example, because people will fail, right? You will not succeed there. Why? Because you're putting too much on your plate. And it's there is just a high chance of you not going every day within the next 3 weeks. So it's important to start slow, 1 or 2 days per week. If you went from 1 to do 2 days per week and do that consistently for a few weeks. Now, if you add more in there, perfect. That's fine. 1 or 2 days is your goal, right? And it doesn't have to be an hour. It can be 10 minutes. 10 minutes in that day. And that's all I want you to start with. And if you need something to work out with, I started doing something called Workout Wednesdays, Mental Health Workout Wednesdays. Check them out. You can do it for 10 minutes, 15, 30, whatever it is. You need something to follow, someone to talk to, click it. There's a playlist on our channel. It's all inside there. And it's beginner ones for at home. So it's not for someone that's like, hey, I'm worked out like 10 years. I've been working out for 50 years. No, it's for the person that wants to start. Right. And maybe it can be for a person that is very seasoned, but just needs something to follow and get jump started with. Right. You can call it like a jump start. But the main goal here is do something consistent, very small, 10, 15 minutes a day, 1 or 2 times a week. Now, maybe the next week, increase it up and see where it falls for you to be consistent with. When I had to start working out again, I just made sure I went to the gym and did something 2 times a week, right? I used to go 7 days, right? 7 days was my goal as always. And then if I didn't get it, at least I would get 5. And that was always where I felt the best. But I had to start with 1 or 2. My high goal was only 2. And if I get 2 days in a row or 2 days somewhere in that week, I won. And that was 2 years ago. 3 years ago. Shit. And now I'm slowly trying to get into it. Now I'm in the gym again, 5 days a week, working out 5 days a week on a program, pretty regimented for the past 3 months. Right? It's the best I've been in a long, long time. But that's the thing. We can't just go into something and think we're going to go gung ho off the bat. You have to start small and start using these smaller, achievable goals. That's the word, achievable goals in order to create long-term success. Because we're not here to just get rid of depression or get rid of our mental health issues and then walk away from it. That's not going to happen. That's like losing 20 pounds and then eating everything in the fucking world when you're done, and you're going to gain 35 pounds back. Plus, on top of that, you're going to increase your fat deposits, which is something, right? Did you know that? Did you know that people that crash diet, that try to lose weight super fast, and then hit the goal, usually for a wedding or something in a vacation, and then they eat as much as they can on vacation and drink, and then their body creates actual brand new fat cells, which they never had before, because the body does not know what to do with the amount of calories that you did. So now it's called fat deposit. I forget the name. You gain more fat cells. So now when you come back around the next time, it's harder for you to lose weight. It's harder for you to shed fat because now you actually have more fat than you actually started with a year ago or a couple months ago. Weird, right? No one tells you that. They just tell you, hey, get on this plan, lose 30 pounds, and you'll be good. False. Lose 30 pounds and fucking keep it. Lose 30 pounds and then go through a refeed phase. Lose 30 pounds and then go into a reverse dieting phase. That's the most important part. But I'm sorry. See how angry I get when I talk about it? It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Because I did it. Right? I did it. I was there. I had to sell. I had to be in a gym that had to sell and do these fat transformations. And not that we did it, but we would coach people into losing weight and then keeping them there and keeping them there. And there's a lot of people that just didn't listen, fell off, and then they lost weight and then gained it back. And then we just lost them again. And it's frustrating because we know what to do. We know the right thing to do, right? But some people just don't listen that way. And we have a lot of people that kept the weight off. We have a lot of people that did not. So I get so frustrated because I'm also looking at myself because I made those same mistakes. And I don't want you guys to make the same, because it hurts to watch people reach something and then get back down to bottom and feel like they can never get back up again. You can. It's just a harder way. And the best way to do it is to start small and create the small changes and create the small habits that we can get into in order to feel better about ourselves. Because when you look better, you feel better. Sorry. That's just one that's one fact. If you look better in the mirror, you fucking feel better regardless. If you look and feel better in your clothes, you'll feel better outside. And your mental health will change. That's why it's so important to involve physical health and physical fitness and health and nutrition into this versus medication. Sure, you may feel a little bit better, but if you're still looking in the mirror, you don't fucking like it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to fall back in. But if you are proud of yourself and you feel good about yourself enough to where it's like, hey, I can carry myself outside and I feel really good about it, well, then that's change. Right? So I will always say physical health, nutritional structure is key to these. And finding ways you can do it slowly, small, and let it stick is important. And I'll talk about number 2 thing that you can do is 5 minutes per day, guys. 5 minutes per day. I already gave you too much. 5 minutes, how many times per day? How many times per week? 3 times a week, maybe? If you forget, don't worry about it, but make sure you do it again type thing. 5 minutes gratitude. Just be grateful for what you have. Gratitude is very overlooked. Every morning, I get up, I look at the stars. I tell you over and over again. I look at the stars, I look at the sky, and just say how grateful I am. That's the first thing I do when I'm walking my dogs outside, and that's when I do it. I do it when I walk my dogs. And if I don't do it, which is very rarely, I forget. Damn it, I forgot. So I'll just do it because it doesn't take a lot of effort. But it is a habit that's very achievable. It is a habit that can change the way you feel. It is a habit that'll bring you back to positive moments inside your life because you're being grateful for those things. So the first thing I think of, here's mine. When I think of grateful now, these past couple weeks, I think of my dad inside a white shirt and a tie. because I'm grateful for him. Because that to me represents it's almost his death anniversary, so it's kind of, I don't know if it's so strong these days. It reminds me of a picture I have, or a couple pictures of him being there for a graduation or a something, right? Maybe a moment in his life where he was celebrated as like a president of this group. Um, just different moments. My brother's graduation, he kind of always had a white shirt with a tie because he would come out of work, right? He'd come out of work to come see us in those important moments. Now, I'm not saying my parents were there for everything because it also shows that they worked and that culture was a working culture. And I'm grateful for that, right? I'm grateful for that. And back in the past, I would say, God, where the fuck were you? Why weren't you there? Why didn't you show up? I needed you. Why aren't you guys fucking there when we need you? But I didn't put myself into their shoes. They're trying to create a better life for me and my brother, right? And that's all they knew. They didn't know what showing up meant. They didn't know what wrestling practice is. They don't know what a district title is. They don't know what a regions match is. They know that they have a budget they got to keep and they got to make sure there's money coming in so the house stands still and the kids have something to have. Right? There was no such thing back then. So that picture kind of reminds me of he at least took the time to be there for those. But at the same time, he didn't want to wear a tie, he didn't want to wear a shirt, but he did it as well. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful every single day for him and my mom for doing the things that they had to do in order for us to be good kids, right? For us to have a life that we had. And I can't replace that. So that's the first thing I think of when I say I'm grateful or have gratitude for. And the second one is my wife. I think of the moment we got married and the fun and the smiles we have, and that keeps me there. It keeps me positive. And then finally, my family and my kids, right? My brother, the things he does for me, everything he does for me. I can't tell you the things he's done for me in the past that have helped me to be here right now. I know he's even watching this. That's what's fucking even weird, right? But like the things he's done for me, you cannot. The lessons I've learned living and being with my brother, I can never, ever repay. So I'm grateful for him. And of course, my kids. They make me who I am. That's the gratitude that I feel. And do you feel this? This is what gratitude is. It's so deep that it hits me here because it puts me in an outlook for the day of if I could live with that, I could do anything. I could do anything in this world. As long as I have that love, as long as I have that care, as long as I have that backbone. What are you grateful for? What makes you feel this way? And I want you to think about that for 5 minutes per day. 5 minutes. And if you could do it 3 days a week, hit that up 3 days a week. You could do this by thinking. You could do it by journaling. You could do it by whatever it is your outlet is. Just do something to show that you're grateful, whether it's meditating it, whether it's writing it down, whether it's making a vlog. Who knows? Why don't you start your own YouTube channel? No one's going to watch it in the beginning. No one cares. But for you, it could be an outlet, right? A way to express yourself, a way to say things that you normally wouldn't say on the surface. Third one will be mindful breathing. I can't, after that whole thing, I can't even focus right now. breath work, breath work comes with any type of meditation and or gratefulness or walking or exercising, right? But focusing on your breath, again, another thing you can do for 5 minutes per day, not in line with this. Choose one of these things. You don't have to do all of them, right? I'm not saying all of them. One of these, right? One of these five, and on a consistent basis. And when you feel like you can, add another one into it. Now, there's tons of breathing apps. I'm not here to tell you either. I do box breathing, I do fire breathing, I do long 2, 3 in, 7 out type of breathing when I relax. Comment down below if you want to know which ones I do. If you want me to make a video on breathing, I can, but I'm not really into making those type of videos. I just tell you what I do. I don't want to show you exactly the type that I do because there's so much more. If not, I could send a link to the ones I use instead. But using it to focus on your breath has helped me a lot because breath is life. And if we constrict how we breathe, we're not really fully using what we got. At the same time, we're not living that life. Physical exercise we did. Last one, no, two, sorry. Digital detox, which is taking a break off social, right? I just know for me, when I go to bed, it goes away, right? I try to do an hour before bed. The phone goes away. Do I have YouTube on? Yes, I always have YouTube on because I need sound to to sleep. I need someone talking to me, whether it's stand up comedy or brain waves or something, right? I need sound to sleep. Not I need sound. I enjoy sound to sleep. It helps me sleep better, right? But first thing in the morning, do I go on social? No. I do my gratitude, I do my walk, I do my exercise, I do my stuff first. Then I will check. A lot of people may get up, check emails immediately, but I don't want that in my life, right? It's not that urgent at 4:30 in the morning. I will check to see if there's a bubble that's come from my brother or my mom back in New Jersey as an emergency, right? I'll check out real quick, but I'm not going to open it. If it doesn't say those two names, goodbye. I don't check them until I'm done with my day, until I'm done with my morning routine. So finding out where you can detox from social is a big thing because social does collect a lot of data, right? Your brain takes up a lot of energy. It takes up a lot of thoughts, a lot of space. And sometimes we get stuck on cops shooting other people or like people getting shot. You get stuck into these videos, these videos where they're not really that positive in your life. Or people talking shit about each other. And yeah, sure, it may be funny, but at the same time, it just, as my brother would say, it just takes data, right? It just takes your brain will take in all of these thoughts. And we got to get rid of them sometimes, or cookies, right? Cookies, where it says like your computer's like delete some cookies. Yeah, delete them because it's a lot of thoughts inside your head. And sometimes we got to get them out. But if we keep collecting thoughts and more thoughts and more thoughts, take a break from it because your brain does need that break, especially before you go to sleep. And that's the last thing. It's consistent sleep schedule. Find something that you can do consistently. Do something to get you down a little earlier so you wake up a little earlier. I'm not saying that that's the time. I don't know your time clock, but what's the routine for you? What's a habit that you can do? Are you just watching TV and then going straight to bed? Because sometimes that's not a great thing. Are you on your phone while you're in bed, like scrolling away before you try? You're not really going to get good sleep there. Are you hitting snooze 1,000 times? Well, then maybe you try to go a little bit earlier. I don't know what it is you're going to do. Right, let's see what I got. Determine your ideal sleep schedule. Create a bedtime routine. Limit stimulants. So I try to avoid caffeine. I do drink coffee. I love fucking coffee. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a coffee snob, but I like coffee. It tastes good. I try to limit it till 1 p.m. 1 p.m. I usually 1 or 2 p.m. I don't take any stimulants, any caffeine or tea or anything like that after that. So because it does affect my sleep, and I'm trying to limit it after 1 p.m. And then if you are someone that has trouble waking up in the morning, set an alarm. That's exactly where you're going to and wake up. Right. The biggest thing I see is when people set alarms that are unrealistic. Right. They know their body naturally wakes up at 7, but they put one for 4:30 because they watched a video that said they have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get stuff done. In the beginning, maybe you can work to that. But if you're a naturally person that wants to sleep till like 10, try maybe you'll get one at 7, But if you naturally wake up at like 7, set your alarm to like 6:30. But don't hit snooze. Right? Snooze. You ever hit snooze and just felt like 2 minutes went by and then the other one went off? So what's the point? You know what I mean? What's the point? If you hit snooze at 6:30 and it felt like then the next one opened up at 7, but it felt like 2 minutes went by, what's the point of hitting snooze? It didn't feel better. You didn't get more sleep. It didn't feel like you got more sleep. Did it? So just wake up. There's no difference in the feeling. So why feel shitty twice? Ever feel shitty twice? Right. And there's consistent people like, oh, I'll put it at 6, 6, snooze, snick, snooze, snick, snooze. That's like 7 wake ups that suck. Your day sucks already. You already felt like shit 7 times in 30 minutes because you pressed snooze 7 times in 30 minutes. Create the discipline to wake up and keep it at the latest time that you feel like you can function in, and just get up at that one and then make that decision. Right? Create that strong decision to be proud of yourself. Hitting snooze is just like, I ain't ready for life. I ain't ready for life. I ain't ready for life. Get it. But doesn't that feel like shit? Right? Immediately, I hit snooze 7 times. I feel like dick. Even worse. So we have 5 things that you can do, right? You don't have to do all of them at once. Just do one. Do one for a week. And when you accomplish those consistently, add another one. Don't go gung ho. Please don't go gung ho. Find the ones that are achievable for you, and I will guarantee you that you'll start to feel better. And if you need help, just message me.